But I knew something our critics did not know. I knew the resilient spirit of the Ghanaian people. At the dawn of the new year, I stand before you to say our beloved nation Ghana is rising again. We've accomplished a lot together in the past 12 months through prudent management and difficult but necessary reforms. We've reduced inflation from the distressing levels above 23% by the end of 2024 and are hopeful to end 2025 with inflation at single digits of just above 5%. We have achieved relative currency stability and on track to be ranked among the best performing currencies in the world for 2025. We're accelerating economic growth and creating more opportunities for our young people. We've restored business confidence and have seen a significant increase in both domestic and foreign direct investment. We've restored Ghana's credibility with our international partners, successfully completed the renegotiation of our debt obligations on terms that protect our sovereignty while at the same time ensuring sustainability. We're beginning the process of exiting the IMF program with dignity, not as supplicants, but as partners. Our young people are Ghana's greatest assets. We're beginning to see significant growth in sectoral performance. Construction, manufacturing, agriculture, and services are showing very strong growth.
Well, President John Dramani Mahama also appealed to all Ghanaians to unite behind his leadership and actively support the government's vision, stressing that collective efforts and shared responsibility are key to achieving the goals set for national progress and development.
As we enter 2026, I call upon each one of you. First, our young people. You are not the leaders of tomorrow. You are the leaders of today. Take ownership of this reset agenda. Innovate, create, and build. Ghana needs your energy and your ideas and your commitment. To our entrepreneurs and business leaders, invest in Ghana, build your businesses that create jobs and wealth for yourselves and for the Ghanaian economy. I pledge to maintain a conducive environment for your businesses to thrive. Your commitment must be to seize the opportunities that we create. To our civil society and media partners and watchdog institutions, continue to hold us accountable. A vibrant democracy needs your critical voice. We might not always agree, but we shall always respect the role you play in strengthening our nation. To our traditional leaders and faith-based communities, you are the custodians of our values and the anchors of our community. Help us build social cohesion and national unity, and help us nurture the moral fabric that holds our society together. To the public servants, yours is a noble calling. Serve with integrity and efficiency and dedication. The people's trust in government depends on your daily conduct. And to our diaspora community, you are Ghana's global ambassadors. Continue to make us proud wherever you are. When you can bring your skills back home, your resources and network, please do so. Ghana needs you. We are one people with a shared destiny. Whether you voted for me or not, whether you supported the NDC or not, we are all Ghanaians. And this reset is for all of us. There's no NPP Ghana, there's no CPP Ghana, or NDC Ghana. There's only one Ghana. That Ghana our forebears fought for and shed their blood to give us our freedom. Let us reject the politics of division and embrace the patriotism of nation building.
While reacting to the president's New Year's address, managing editor of News Center newspaper, Elvis Dako, raised concerns about President John Dramani Mahama's address, cautioning against what he describes as overly high expectations created by political speeches, saying that while the tone of the speech was positive, it does not fully reflect the lived realities of ordinary Ghanaians. Speaking on GA Today earlier, Mr. Dako cautioned that if expectations created by the address are not met by the end of the year, public frustration could grow, stressing the need for government communication to better align promises with economic realities.
For me, I like the tone of the, but my only worry, which I've always cautioned all politicians, is that their own words is what we also use to handle them, and then they are not happy.
That's true.
It's about limiting expectation of Ghanaians. Growth on paper is not growth on the ground. People have individual economies. Yeah. So most of the time when politicians speak, I say, I agree that your first year was relatively stable. That I agree. But when you paint the picture to look as if everything is rosy and we are just going to jump into 2020 and then the country's growth is just going to be speeding up somehow, in real terms, that is not the case.
Okay.
So when you talk to me like that, by the end of this year, 2020, the person who is still expecting jobs, but the economy has not been able to create a job, the person who is still struggling to pay the children's school fees, the person who has struggle of life, who based on your promises thinks that things are going to change overnight and did not change, will now come at you. It's true that you are ready for, but the person says, you said 2026 things are going to be better than 2025. Let's say that, look, we have managed to achieve some stability, but we know that there are still serious challenges.
True picture.
Yes, there are still serious challenges.
Okay.
I understand that you people don't have jobs. We are praying and hoping that this year we will be able to attract some businesses. The speech went a little overboard. The promise and the hope that they gave us. For me, if I compare to the reality
on the ground,
I think
there are variants.
Yes, there's a gap, and which will make even his own people may come at him if by the end of this year.
Meanwhile, managing editor of The Custodian, Audu Mahama, has praised the structure and clarity of President Mahama's New Year's speech, addressing it as well-written, concise, and straight to the point. According to him, although he was impressed by the delivery and composition of the speech, the real issue lies in the content and its eventual impact. He noted that while it is the responsibility of a president to inspire hope, such hope must be grounded in tangible performance and measurable outcomes.
I was happy with the way the speech was written.
How?
Short sentences, praise, and straight to the point and all that. So the speech was well written, I must confess. I went through it. But it's the content that we are talking about. It's not just about the speech, but what is contained in it. Yeah. And Elvis was... President has given us hope. It's the duty of president. He's a leader of this country to give us hope. And so nobody will be grudging for this. But that hope must be based on some performance that you are taking off from. And as a leader, he has given us hope. We are yet to see whether that hope will materialize in 2026.
Well, former Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has an advice for the president. He's saying that the president should prioritize economic discipline, job creation, and inclusive governance in the new year. In a message to mark the start of 2026, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia called for bold reforms to stabilize the economy, restore investor confidence, and ease the cost of living pressures on Ghanaians. He also appealed to Ghanaians to embrace the new year with renewed hope, unity, and confidence in the nation's future, pledging a commitment to inclusive growth and national progress so as to build stronger Ghana.
A new year gives us a pause and a moment to reflect on where we are coming from, the choices we have made, and the future we still hope to build together with quiet thought and renewed resolve. I know that for many Ghanaians, the past year has not been easy. Parents have worried about providing for their families, and unemployed young people have wondered when the 24-hour economy will provide them the promised jobs. Traders, workers, professionals, and farmers have all felt the pressure in different ways, notwithstanding the improved macroeconomic stability. A lot has happened since 7th December 2024, and I know many of us continue to reflect on it every day. I congratulate President John Dramani Mahama on his first year in office, and I sincerely wish him well in the discharge of his mandate. The Ghanaian people have bestowed a sacred trust on him, and he cannot afford to fail them. I therefore urge him to continue to guard jealously the peace, stability, and unity of our nation. Ghana has always stood out as a beacon in a region that has seen too much turmoil and instability. The foundation President Mahama inherited was solid in many ways. It is imperative that we build on it and not let it slip. I say this because this matters more now than ever. When institutions are politicized, trust is lost. Ghana's democracy must never be sacrificed on the altar of short-term political advantage. There could be no turning back for our nation. Many Ghanaians have expressed concern about the direction of our national cohesion and the strength of our democratic institutions. These concerns should not be dismissed. When citizens begin to worry about the fairness, independence, and consistency, confidence is affected. And when confidence is shaken, progress becomes harder. I therefore respectfully advise President Mahama to focus on strengthening, not undermining, the institutions that underpin our democratic order.
Away from New Year messages, the NPP flag bearer hopeful Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia says the governing NDC is still bitter about his self-driven campaign in 2016, which he believes played a key role in the New Patriotic Party's electoral victory. Now, the former vice president argues that this lingering resentment explains why the NDC often reacts with hostility and insults whenever his name comes up in public discourse. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia made the remark at a campaign engagement in the Okankwe South constituency. In a video later shared on X, noting that despite the persistent attacks, he remains focused and refuses to be distracted by them.
Campaign NDC for the Omumpema Semkura Omutimidia Omubedi Matemsa Misuminfi Omo Munim say January 31st election Ayekoi Munim say NDC for Pesa Moto Abanamamio Semunim sa Omo Pesa Moto Maobi Sele Nala Komiaka no Ono Obi Kobo football match Ono na Ube Chizu striker amount and also goalkeeper.
So one of our headline stories, a wave of anxiety and frustration is sweeping through the University of Ghana as students grapple with recently unveiled provisional fee schedule that reveals significant increases in academic costs. The provisional figures made available to the public reflect a stark reality for both incoming freshmen and returning students just months before the new academic year begins. Although university management is yet to officially explain the reasons behind the sharp rise, the provisional schedule of academic fees for the 2025-2026 academic year shows substantial upward adjustments affecting both fresh and continuing students. Now, the Ghana National Association of Small-Scale Miners has cautioned politicians across the divide to stay out of artisanal and small-scale mining gold trade, warning that political interference could derail recent gains in Ghanaian ownership and domestic capital formation. The association warns that political actions that disrupt the current regulatory environment could undermine an orderly and transparent framework that has restored confidence among miners and legitimate gold traders. It is therefore urging politicians on all sides to exercise restraint and allow miners and licensed traders to operate within the existing regime, stressing that stability is critical to sustaining compliance, investment, and responsible mining practices. Meanwhile, the minority in Parliament has called for a bipartisan investigation into the reported $214 million loss by the Bank of Ghana under the Gold for Reserves program. Longer on this, I've been joined via Zoom by the president of the Small Scale Miners Association, Michael Kojo Pepper. Michael, many thanks for joining us. You're asking politicians to stay out of the gold trade. Can you pinpoint to what the exact actions that political actors do that threaten the current mining regime?
First of all, let me extend my greetings to your viewers. And Happy New Year to your viewers and you yourself as well. We need to understand as a country that trying to build this country lies on me and you. And in so doing, we need to make sure that we can do so and make sure Ghanaians will thrive, or businessmen who are Ghanaian will thrive. When this issue came up, concerning the gold board, we made it clear to the country that it was a good thing and everybody should come together so that we can build this country with our natural resources, devoid of politics. In the sense that anybody that mines or small-scale miners who have gone through their legal means to acquire their license should be given the free chance to operate, even though you all help in fight against the galamsey issue. But one thing we have realized as an association is that people are making politics out of whatever gains we are making as a country. We all can recall that when Gold Board was inaugurated, we've been able to acquire enough forex to help our economy. Also, through the Gold Board, it has come to the public notice that now small-scale miners are the leading producer of gold, which previously we had no information on. So we are only pleading with the politicians who are trying to derail the good works of Gold Board and to capitalize on the issues that is going on to back off. And in so doing, they should support the president so that at least people would get the benefit of whatever Gold Board is doing. So that is the reason why we came out with the communique. Also, people were attributing the losses that IMF brought about to the ineffective of Gold Board. But we just want to clarify that as a business entity, even if Gold Board should even run at loss, let's admit, let's even admit that even Gold Board has made losses of 214. We were here when people were giving money by MEF, through MEF, and those money people spent it, and some of these people are even going on under investigation. So whatever we are saying is that at least they should help the country by supporting whatever government is doing, because if we're able to develop this country, it benefits me and you, and not a political party. And through that, we have assured Gold Board that we will make sure that we will produce enough gold so that Ghana will get enough forests. And we would as well help government to fight against this galamsey problem that has been faced us as a country.
Right, Michael, you just mentioned the Gold Board. I want to pick your thoughts on what you make of the current structure of the Gold Board as it stands now, where that entity is the only one that can buy gold. What do you make of that structure?
That is the best thing, because before it was the foreigners who were, buying this gold. When you go to Dubai, they will tell you 80% of the gold in Dubai comes from Ghana. But when you go to the book, you check and it doesn't speak for itself. So people were rather buying the gold and smuggling it outside this country. A lot of these people were not Ghanaians. They were Chinese, Lebanese, and other foreigners who were, smuggling this gold outside. And we were not benefiting from it. So if government in its quest to curb this, illegal trade, and in so doing has made the Gold Board the sole agent to buy gold. And if you are a foreigner and you want to buy gold, just come to government and buy. This is as simple as that.
But Michael, some have also argued
following the path of Ghana.
Some have also argued that the monopoly is problematic.
what makes it a problematic? Because at the end of the day, the gold is from Ghana. It is being mined by Ghanaians. And people find dubious means to get this gold, and their money goes into their pockets. So even if indeed we want government to buy the gold from small-scale miners, so that if any foreigner wants to trade in this country, should trade through a gold board, I think it's laudable, like what we've done with the cocoa. If we are giving everybody the license to just buy cocoa in this country and export it, I don't think we would have gotten any better thing from the cocoa. So these are something that takes good leadership to integrate such a very proper means on trying to get more revenue. Also, we should understand that the previous government tried this thing, but it failed woefully, like the gold for oil, which we as small-scale miners spoke against it, because you don't expect anybody to buy gold from this country, export it, and as a government, you compete with these people. At a point in time, to even get a good price for gold was a problem. They were buying it 10%, 15%, 5% from us, from the world market price. But when the gold board was inaugurated, we are getting value for our money. And government is buying it almost the world market spot price. And it's laudable.
Michael, this gold trade conversation was reignited when the minority came up and mentioned that there were some $214 million laws under the Gold for Reserves program. What is your outfit's take on that?
I think in every business, whether it's true or not, in every business, I don't think when you are starting, you get everything rosy. Let's even admitting the fact that there has been a loss. Has the program stopped? No, it is ongoing. And there are other means government or the Gold Board and Bank of Ghana would use to make sure that even if they have made losses, I think the losses would not occur in future. What we need to do as a country is to support whatever government is doing, because you are benefiting from whatever is happening now. I am benefiting because now, through this Gold Board, we have enough for us and our CD has stabilized. And in so doing, it will go to the advantage of the citizenry. So these are things that we should all understand. When Bank of Ghana made losses over 2 billion in some years back, what did we say as a country? No matter what it is, Bank of Ghana need to try, so we have to support it. Even when some of these banks made some losses, people were saying that they were not, we shouldn't have allowed these banks. We had to support it. We should have supported them to at least be in business. So even if Gold Board for 9 months has made losses, even admitting, right, we need to still support it, because the gains that has been made by them is far better than the $214 they are talking about. And Gold Board is trading over billions of dollars, and it comes back to support the country. So it's better we take the politics out of it. People are only making noises, and they know what they are saying doesn't hold any truth. But they will just make sure that they will spew this one to just bring it down. But as small-scale miners, we would confirm and we will affirm our support to Gold Board. We will affirm our support to the government of the day, so that at least the best thing that comes from minerals from Africa, at least Ghana will benefit as well.
You also just mentioned that Gold Board has made, the benefits that Gold Board has been able to attain far outweighs all the losses that is being reported. Essentially, is your outfit saying that because they are making so much gains, there should not be any criticism or there should not be any checks and balances in what is happening in Gold Board?
No, I never say that. What I was saying
based on your argument, because you're saying that because you're saying that they are making great gains, and now the ownership largely lies with Ghanaians. And so if people are trying to talk about the losses, essentially they're playing politics with it. So there should be no checks.
So we are not saying there should be no checks.
Okay.
Gold Board itself have, regulatory bodies that check whatever they do. At the end of the day, they have a local auditors. They have international auditors. Because all the business they do, it goes through Bank of Ghana. And at the end of the day, we get the forests in this country, and it benefits us as a country. So even though there are lapses or there are challenges, I don't think we need to, throw the baby with the bad water. Whatever we need to do to make sure that it thrives, whatever we need to do to make sure Gold Board succeeds is something we need to do as a country. And that is one thing we have affirmed our support to Gold Board, that whatever we need to do as an association, as small-scale miners, so that Gold Board would thrive and succeed. At the end of the day, if it succeeds, it's beneficial for me and you. Now that the dollar is going to 10, and maybe it can even go up to 8, this comes to confirm that at least government is doing something. So what we are saying that it's not, if somebody is making losses, we shouldn't say it. But in so doing, we just need to pat them at their back and at least encourage them so that going forward, they will make profits and Ghana would also benefit from this.
Michael, I'm grateful that you could join us here on Newsroom. That was Michael Kojo Pepra, who is the president of the Small Scale Miners. They're essentially telling politicians that they should not get themselves or politicize the issues around gold trade. You're still watching Newsroom live on GHOne TV. I am Nadima Omar Uthman. In some more news, in northern Ghana, community homecoming is more than reunions. They are platforms for accountability and development. At Mpaha in the Central Gonja district, the Dabri Land Youth Association has used its 22nd annual homecoming to renew calls for youth empowerment, job creation, and improved social infrastructure to secure the future of the area.
The 22nd annual homecoming of the Dabri Land Youth Association at Mpaha in the Central Gonja district brought together residents, traditional leaders, and stakeholders to reflect on development and chart a path forward. Held under the theme, Empowering the Youth for Sustainable Community Development, the event focused on the growing need to equip young people with skills and opportunities to reduce social challenges, including unemployment and drug abuse. President of the Dabri Land Youth Association, Isahaku Tanko, stressed that meaningful development cannot be achieved without investing in the youth, describing them as the backbone of the community's future.
Agriculture is the mainstay of the people of Dabri, who are basically engaged in yam and other cereal crop farming as well as livestock. We will appreciate it if irrigation dams could be provided for dry season farming, thus creating employment for the youth throughout the whole year.
Despite modest gains over the years, the association acknowledged that significant challenges persist, including low enrollment at Mpaha Senior High School due to lack of boarding facilities, poor telecommunication network coverage, and the deplorable condition of the road linking Mpaha Junction to Kikali.
My hope is that next year we may not be talking about the main road again. Please let us get all communities connected to the main road and to make it easy for our people and farm produce to the market centers.
The district chief executive for the Central Gonja district, Mahama Husseini, assured residents of the government's commitment to development, promising the completion of the road infrastructure and the upgrading of Mpaha Senior High School to boarding status. A representative of the Gonja Land Youth Association commended the people for their peaceful coexistence and urged traditional authorities to resolve outstanding land disputes with the Tuwe and Kulau traditional areas to preserve harmony and stability. The event attracted several dignitaries, including traditional leaders and local government officials, who pledged continued support for the development of Dabri Land.
In a world increasingly driven by technology, access to digital tools can mean the difference between opportunity and exclusion. But for many persons living with disability in Ghana, the digital age remains frustratingly out of reach. At their annual Congress in the Savannah region, members of the National Association of Persons Living with Disability are raising a powerful call, not for sympathy, but for inclusion, access, and equal opportunity.
In the 21st century, digital access is no longer a luxury. It is a lifeline. Yet, for many persons with disabilities, That lifeline remains painfully distinct. At the annual Congress of the National Association of Persons with Disabilities, frustration and determination filled the center as members spoke openly about the digital divide holding them back.
We are encountering challenges with accessibility, even sometimes our transport system, and going to some ministries, even the parliament who passed our Disability Act, the place is not accessible to us.
He described limited access to computers, assistive technologies, and digital training as major setback to education, employment, and independence.
In fact, disability is not a curse, but once you become a disabled, you face so many challenges. So we are calling on government, His Excellency President, to come to our aid and help us to inculcate the disability policies into the mainstream policies of Ghana.
But amid the concerns, assurance of hope were offered. The Savannah Regional Minister, Salisu Biawurubi, reaffirmed the government's commitment to disability inclusion, referencing campaign promises to support persons with disabilities and bridge the digital gap.
Whilst he was in opposition and promising you of the support that he's willing and ready to do, he's living by his words. All your concerns, he's more than ready to accept them and direct for that kind of support to be given to you.
The West Gonja Municipal Chief Executive Mohammed Castro pledged the Assembly's resolve to ensure equal opportunities regardless of physical or social limitations.
We remain committed to inclusive development that ensures equal opportunities for all. We acknowledge your concerns. I assure you that the Assembly will continue to work closely with your leadership to address these issues.
Adding an international voice to the conversation, Spain's ambassador to Ghana and Togo, Angela Lusardo Torres, encouraged members to rise beyond societal barriers and pursue excellence, insisting that disability must never be equated with inability.
Maybe we don't have sometimes the same possibilities. And then it's the obligation of the states, it's the obligation of the authorities to make sure that these rights that we all have become real and that they are not just a message, but a reality.
For members of the association, his message is clear. Digital inclusion is not charity, it is a right. And until access is equal, the promise of empowerment remains incomplete.
Let's bring you some business news now.
The Business Brief is brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
President John Dramani Mahama has touted the performance of the Ghana cedi, stating that it has been ranked as one of the best currencies globally by the end of 2025. He emphasized that the stability being witnessed will be sustained, thereby benefiting all citizens and stakeholders alike, fostering economic growth and prosperity.
We've reduced inflation from the distressing levels above 23% by the end of 2024, and are hopeful to end 2025 with inflation at single digits of just above 5%. We have achieved relative currency stability and on track to be ranked among the best performing currencies in the world for 2025. We're accelerating economic growth and creating more opportunities for our young people. We've restored business confidence and have seen a significant increase in both domestic and foreign direct investment. We restored Ghana's credibility with our international partners, successfully completed the renegotiation of our debt obligations on terms that protect our sovereignty while at the same time ensuring sustainability.
On the investment front, President John Dramani Mahama has called on both domestic and international investors to consider Ghana as their best investment destination. According to him, their venture into the Ghanaian investment climate should not be seen as an act of benevolence to the country, but rather a strong partnership for a mutually beneficial affair, as the current business environment is suitable for guaranteed returns.
As Ghana rises, we extend our hands to our neighbors and our partners across Africa. Together, we can and shall build the Africa we want. Together, we can prove to the world what is possible when developing nations are given the space and support to chart their own course. We invite the world to invest in Ghana's transformation, not out of benevolence, but out of the enlightened self-interest in a more stable, prosperous, and sustainable world. My dear compatriots, as satisfying as our achievements of 2025 are, they are but the foundation. The architecture of the Ghana we want must now be built on this foundation. In 2026, we shall accelerate and expand to our entrepreneurs and business leaders. Invest in Ghana, build your businesses that create jobs and wealth for yourselves and for the Ghanaian economy. I pledge to maintain a conducive environment for your businesses to thrive. Your commitment must be to seize the opportunities that we create.
Bring you some EIBNetwork stories now.
The Business Brief was brought to you by CompuGhana, passion for technology.
For many revelers, December ended on a fun note as Ghana became one of Africa's most vibrant destinations for the festive season. What's popularly known as Dirty December has evolved from a social media trend into a major driver of tourism and economic activity, drawing visitors from across the African diaspora and beyond. Nabil Ahmed Rufai attended one of the major music festivals held in Accra and filed this report.
This is the sound of December in Ghana. Every year, Ghana's cities, especially Accra, light up like a global stage. Music festivals, cultural showcases, and family reunions dominate the calendar as Dirty December pulls in thousands of visitors from around the world.
It's been an experience, just being here, having my senses awakened to this continent. Seeing my people.
It's my first time in Africa, first time obviously in Ghana, coming from North Carolina, coming to the cradle of civilization to enjoy a wonderful time with my beautiful people.
The people are so welcoming, so loving. Like, I've been to all the clubs, I've been on all the dates, and I've only been here for like 5 days. And I think people come here because it's just like, you won't get this anywhere else in the world.
Dirty December started as a social media movement, but it has now become serious business. At this music festival in Accra, Afrofuture, the impact is visible.
As it brings more people to the continent, not just Ghana, even though Ghana is the black star and in the gateway to Africa, once people come to Ghana, they want to just explore other African countries as well too. So the main vision and the main goal is to bring more people on the continent, and the people on the continent, people outside the continent can work together and make us one.
In 2024, tourism data showed that Ghana welcomed nearly 1.3 million international visitors, bringing in a record $4.8 billion. That's a 12% jump from the year before. Experts say a big chunk of that money comes in December.
December in GH has come to stay. December in GH is a big deal. December in GH is a festival of our culture, festival of who we are as a destination, and a festival for the creative economy. And that is what December has come to stay for, So yes, December in GH is a big deal, and I'm happy to say that it's been extremely successful.
Tourism authorities say visitor numbers are set to climb again this year, meaning more money flowing into the economy. Once known mainly for its festivities, Dirty December is now reshaping Ghana's global tourism profile, turning culture and celebration into a measurable economic asset.
Let's bring you news from elsewhere. Are working to identify the victims of a fire at the Lake Constellation Bar in the ski resort of Crans, Montana. The morning after the blaze, police and firefighters continued working behind tents and screens near the site of the Lake Constellation Bar, where a New Year's celebration turned fatal. Around 40 people were killed and more than 115 injured when the fire broke out around 1:30 a.m. in a packed venue. Emergency services mounted a large response. 10 helicopters, 4 ambulances, and about 150 responders were deployed. Now, victims were taken to hospitals across Switzerland, including Zurich, Lausanne, and Geneva, after local facilities were overwhelmed by severe burn injuries. As of 2nd January 2026, identifying victims and returning bodies to families remain the main priorities. The victims include several nationalities, with Italians and French citizens among the injured or missing. Authorities say operations will continue for days. Currently, no new casualty figures or clear cause have been reported so far. And that's how we wrap up this edition of Newsroom Live on GHOne TV. But log on to starfm.com.gh for more news. I am Nadima Omar Uthman. Good afternoon.
This new year, it's time to take charge of your life, your money,